90% of consumers read online reviews before visiting a business. What do people see when they look you up online? We give you the tools you need to take control of your reputation. Send surveys to your customers via text message with Testimonial Collector. Get 5-star reviews on all the major platforms like Google, Yelp, and more. Track what people are saying about your business with Reputation Manager. Respond to comments and turn negative reviews into happy customers. See what your competitors' customers are saying about them with Competition Tracker. Learn great marketing tactics and what it takes to stay on top. A bigger social presence means more connections. Automatically generate and schedule engaging social media posts with Social 365. Build trust, boost sales, and grow your business.
Entrepreneur Life Show. Work toward being significant. Entrepreneur Life Show. Don't you worry, success will follow. Entrepreneur Life Show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Entrepreneur Life Show. It is a Thursday as we stream or try to stream every Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, although sometimes, we have to change it up depending on our amazing guests and their schedule. So you're tuning into the Entrepreneur Live Show, where I bring thought-provoking, entertaining guests and conversation to the show. We have the best show, the best publicists, best PR agents that bring us amazing and wonderful guests. And why I know this is because they get to come on the show and our downloads. So I always want to make sure that I thank everybody who has been downloading on the podcast. And I know I can't see you. It would be great if I could meet you all, but I see the downloads and how wonderful it is, because it tells me that you really enjoy the show or you enjoy the guests who I bring on the show. So I hope they interest you and you get to connect with them and get in touch with them and chat with them and talk to them. So I thank you for that. You can also find us streaming on spinwaxradio.com now, where they are always looking for new artists and new genre. So make sure that if you are a radio music enthusiast, check out spinwaxradio.com, and we're also streaming there as well. And so you can find us on, so many iHeartRadio, Spotify. Just check out the website, entrepreneurlifeshow.com. Scroll to the bottom and a list of all of the social platforms we are streaming on and your favorite podcast apps. So you can just download it and listen while you are on the go. If you are looking at wanting sponsorship or a shout out, make sure you check out the webpage again, entrepreneurlifeshow.com. Go to the bottom, send us a message, and let's see what we can do for you. So today's show, today's guest, I have I don't know how I get these types of guests, but I look at other and kind of stalk sometimes other podcasts, and the guests I get are just so great because they're so indifferent, and they have such great stories. They fit the platform perfectly, because whatever genre you're in, you're always branding yourself, and I love that. And so today we have Rebecca DGD, also known as DawgGoneDavis, and you are going to be I'm so impressed by this, so inspirational. She's an Arkansas City-based rocker, Mr. Two. Let me tell you, so if you hear stuff, you can hear it's a little bit of mixture of everything, and you're going to be surprised when you see her. She's a songwriter. She has had a Ray smash single on the Euro Indie Music Chart, and I mean, that's really nice. When you see her, you're going to see why I'm saying this. So she's going to surprise you. So we are granted the pleasure of having her on the show. I will bring her up now, and let's get the interview started and say hello to Miss Rebecca. Hello.
Hello.
I appreciate your being on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
When I did receive the bio, I thought, oh my gosh, I have to read it like 2 or 3 times. And then I had to go to the YouTube channel and go to your social feeds. And I thought, wow, what an inspiration because we'll get into that as we go on to the show. But
Okay.
I wanted to ask, like, so you're originally from Kansas, is that correct?
I am originally from Springfield, Missouri, but most of my life in Kansas, and then some of my life in Germany, and now back in Kansas City. So
What was it that inspired you that well, okay, so I thought because Kansas, I'm like, what the heck is in Kansas?
yeah,
Except for but then Missouri, the show me state. What and I'm saying later in life because I don't think it was later in life that led your interest to say, you know what, into music and then the genre that you're in that you've chosen.
right. So what led me to this? And when I started writing, I was actually a kid. I was 6 years old, and I was starting to write poetry. It was just I was a little marketer. I would try and write little skits and such, and do marketing things in my head, and then I'd put them on paper. And then I continued writing all my life. And in 2009, I shall show you the cool book. Can you see the cool
Oh,
book?
that's nice. Yes,
This,
I can see that. Technicolor, yes.
yeah, it's called Technicolor Hans and Other Events, my very first book in 2009. And then I wrote two others. But the cool thing is, I give all the money to Operation Breakthrough. They are the poorest kids in Kansas City. So in Kansas City, Missouri, there's a group called Operation Breakthrough. They handle the babies, the kids, the children, everyone who needs help in the inner city. And I've had a relationship with them for 20 years. So it's been a huge blessing that I get to generate my work and give them some money. But I'm not patting myself on the back because everybody has trials, and we all just have to give to each other. But I think the coolest thing that's going on with me since 2018 is I collaborate with Snoop Dogg's longtime producer, Chago G. Williams.
I saw that. I read that. And I wanted to find out how that collaboration even came into fruition.
Okay. So back, it's probably been 2.5 years now. My actual manager producer is he's in Germany and also in France. And Helmut Wolf is my manager. He met Chago, 8 months or so or a year before I was ever introduced to Chago, because Helmut didn't want me embarrassing them, I guess. No, I'm just really outgoing, and he just wanted to get Chago settled in France, and everything going smooth. And then one day Helmut said, "Well, I have someone I want you to work with it if you want to." And I said, "Who?" And he goes, "Chago G. Williams." And I said, "I'm in." And that was all she wrote. We have going on our 6th song, and he is the rap master of the world. He is so talented and so flexible.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, this new song we're coming out with, I wrote it and he did his part. I was wondering if he could match my intent.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. So when it comes out in early June, everyone will be surprised. And plus, you can hear all of our current songs on the Bandcamp link right now.
So what was it that it was, your mixture of rap and rock? I mean, there's a lot of genres you could choose from. You could have chosen from.
I grew up on rock and roll, and I'm a big ham, and I love to sing, and I don't dance very well. However, I write pretty well, I think. But I had this rock and roll, and now I call it rap and roll for us, because
right.
It genuinely is. I also worked with Dorian P. Williams of the Gap Band. So he's kind of a biggie as well. And now we're getting ready to work with Billy Young on the piano for the next song with Earth, Wind, and Fire. But yeah,
So, I saw that on your page, actually. I was looking at that on your social page, Facebook page.
Yep. It's a blessing that, here's this woman out in the Midwest who is a bit worldly, because I've traveled and lived in Europe, and, I'm not just stuck here in the little box.
Yeah.
But it's really cool and a blessing to have these guys. I mean, it's awesome.
So, that because you have named some influential people that have been in the industry and are in the industry, what artists actually would you say have inspired you, that led your direction into, and to wanting to sing and to write? I mean, you said you've always enjoyed writing, but then putting that into words and singing and rapping it.
I started when I did the books. I also happened to do a skit on YouTube, and it was more of a rap, and it went viral, but we can't find the original link. So it's like a whatever. All I can say is it was big, but Helmet turned that rap that I was performing into a song, and that song went to #1 right out of the gate. It went to, that was my first song, and it went to #1 on the world indie charts back in May of 2018. And the influences of music just come from my dad, who was a pianist. And let's see, I could name tons of people, but one thing I want to shout out, if you don't mind, is, okay, so the song called Appreciation.
Yes, I was listening to that. I listened to it.
I love that song because I saw a performance, Burton Cummings doing These Eyes, and I
love that song.
I love that. And for some reason it hit me in the head, and I wrote a song, and it went to #7 in the world. So I wanted to shout that one out, because it's the power of music. When something hits you that you like, and music that hits me, from classic rock and roll to oldies to whatever, I just get hit in the heart and hit in the head, and then I write.
Yeah, I was looking at the video, and I like the it's kind of like, I wouldn't say animated, but graphic, and how the color in the background. And so it's I watched it like 3 or 4 times. I tried to download it, but they wouldn't let me download it. So on my computer, but
I'll get it to you. I will get it to you.
I really liked it. I liked the flute playing. Who was that playing the flute?
Okay, so that's my man Helmet. He is a world-class flute player and saxophone player. He has been known for like 40 years around the world as one of the top in those 2 instruments. And
so I because you were talking about just the for appreciation, I know you have several songs that actually hit the indie charts, and and some of the names. So I want to ask about how you came up with some of these names, like Raybans in the Rain, Dark Hour, No More. There's Clean Slate. Not to mention, of course, Appreciation with Chago. So, and I saw that, and I like his addition in there. Is really nice. I mean, it's surprising. I'm gonna have to say it's surprising. It is. It's really nice.
It is. It's everything. Every time I work with Chago or Billy or Dorian, it is completely surprising, because it's not that we're different. It's that we're, I guess we are a bit different, but it's awesome. I mean, we just click. But you were asking about the titles?
Yeah, like those are some interesting titles for your singles, for your album.
Okay, so Raybans in the Rain. I have to tell you, each song that I write is a part of my life, meaning it's a direct part of my existence, from childhood, all the way up till now. So it's all true. And what happened with Raybans in the Rain was we had a horrible winter last year. And then the spring last year was awful. And the city got to go out into the sunshine one day. We were all at an outdoor mall in Kansas City. And I looked around. I had just bought a brand new pair of Raybans, and I was looking around at other people, and they were strutting. Their wives and girlfriends were strutting. Their babies were strutting in a stroller. They were so happy to be out. And then they were so happy that we just kept wearing our sunglasses through the sun, through the rain, whatever. We were just so happy to have some sunshine. And I thought, well, what else to better put Ray-Bans than, no one would think you would wear them in the rain because you would ruin them. But it turned out as a nice little offset there.
Now, you've worked with Chago before, not just this one time on this
right
album, correct?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And we first did the song called No More, and that was that's a hoot because I'm talking about my ex-husband and how I should not have married a man who was 20 years older than me. What a dummy. I was a kid, but he took that and he ran with it. And then also in Dark Side, that's a personal song about some Darkest Hour is a personal song about some loss in our family. And so I don't know how Chago does it. That's why he is who he is. He can grasp onto my intense emotion of what I'm feeling or what I felt years ago and bring it into him. So gosh, Darkest Hour and No More and Clean Slate is about erasing hate. And that was done with Dorian Paul Williams of The Gap. And that Dorian, he put some power. He really did. He put some big power into that one. And now my third biggie that I get to work with is Billy Young of Earth, Wind, and Fire.
How is it that your manager must be great because he has really connected you with some great people, with a great team of people. And so, that's inspiring, but at any time do you feel like, okay, these people really want to work with me and they're working with you? I think I would be a little bit nervous.
In the previous life, I've always been a leader. I've been a leader in, playing sports and basketball. And I'm confident, not naive that, I'm a newcomer, I'm relatively a newcomer, but I've smashed 21 hits into 4 years. And they've all been hits. So I think I just have that confidence of being previously public speaker in corporate. And I always cross my fingers that when I write something and Helmut's going to give it to, Chago or Dorian Paul or Earth, Wind, and Fire, I'm like, well, I wonder if they'll get it. And they do. They get me, and thank God.
So I wanted to ask, I wanted to say that I think it's very inspiring while some would think that anybody in the rap or the rock industry would only be for the young, and especially for females now. And a lot of female art are really taking over in both sectors, both industries, especially in the rap sector. But you to be in your older years like myself, what are your thoughts of how, are you curious to how people see you to say, wow, is she really serious? But then to see that, well, damn, she's also she's hitting the top charts. What are your thoughts about, because it seems to be frowned upon when you're older, if people don't take a lot of your older artists seriously, because how, music has changed a lot.
Yeah. I could give a rip, meaning, I don't care. I mean, I care what fans think and people think, but nothing's going to hold me back. I have some messages to say about cancer. I have some messages to say about Jesus. I have some messages to say about, the people who've helped me in my life. And, I've been blessed with the ability to write. So one thing I do, and this is what's funny, is I go fishing on this dock in this tiny Kansas town. And all these other teenagers from the school here, I always run my music by them. And, these guys are, girls and boys, they're 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, all in there and a little bit older. And I play my music on the dock for them. And they're like, wow. They're stunned because they know it's me. And then they hear Chago come in and they're going, how'd you do that?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And I just said, I just go for it. I'm not going to let something hold me back when there's a mission and it's a good mission and there's the talent. Really, it's not me. Helmut created me because he's the composer. He's the musician. He's the producer. It's Helmut Wolf who has that insight into, I'm going to create this song the way Rebecca wants it, and I'm going to do it how I want it, how he wants it, And so actually I can't take all the credit. I mean, I may look like who I am, but Helmut is truly the one building Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. He really is awesome.
So with the when listening to your lyrics, I can obviously see there's poetry and storytelling, kind of wrapped up all in one. Would you consider yourself more of a storyteller, or then also a storyteller and a singer, and just putting music behind it? I listen to quite a bit of what they call now, which is the people do the it's not really called poetry, but they have these sessions of I forget the word, it's on the tip of my tongue, but they're not really God, I wish I could think of the word. I
know what you're talking about. Yeah, I do my lyrics end up being or begin and end up as poetry. However, I try and present it in a different cadence, so that it can be a little peppier than just reading a poem or something like that. But yes, the poetry that I write and the lyrics are all like I said, from me falling out of a tree when I was 6, breaking both arms, and standing in a pool with 2 casts, and it's all real life words put to music.
Do you find that it become difficult? So having to put, it's different when, because I've had different artists on the show, musicians, and you can write music, but and I guess all music in a sense is storytelling, but to find the lyrics after you've already written the story, or you've already written, you, and I wouldn't say yours is a story because poetry is different. So, and then having to find the music, because hearing you talk, the music can be very in the background. It's how do I say it? I can't even say it's rock, to be honest with you. Almost like somewhat of a soft rock, but it's a bit more rhythmic. But your words are extremely intense.
Yes.
And so finding the right music to go with what you're saying, but your words they're very intense. On 2 of them I've listened to.
There is a lot of serious real passion in about three or four of my songs, and they're on this album.
Oh,
So I will mail these two to you. This is the second album called Raybans in the Rain, and it has all the Chago songs, all the Dorian Paul, and the one about appreciation and Burton Cummings that went to number 7. I put all those in this one CD, and then this was my first CD.
wow. Oh, that's nice.
Okay, so I love Neil Diamond writing. I love it. So this is Hot Doggest Night. So
Like
instead of
Hot
Hot
Dog Night.
August Night, Hot Doggest Night. But this is the power CD. This is the rock and roll, rap and roll power CD. And I'll mail them both to you.
So because you were able to, because you came out pretty strong with quite a bit of music pretty quickly that hit the indie charts. So had you already had, like, because you were already writing, as you said, as a youth, did you already have poetry and write stuff you had written in place and said, you know what, I'm going to turn this into music? Or did you just say, you know what, I'm going to start writing and putting that to music and then adding to that addition to what you had already written?
Oh, the music is new. The music lyrics are new in terms of, since 2018 or 2017 till now. However, I do dip back into the books sometimes and grab some of the lines from my existing 3 books, and I'll take a line from a book here and there and add it into a song if it fits. And then if there's a story in one of my 3 books that I really like, I will take it and, massage it and make a song out of it. But yeah, most of it's, I would say 90% new, new music, new lyrics.
So when it comes to indie music, so of course you are a musician, and specifically indie music and indie artists have become, it would seem, even more mainstream and popular than what we're doing traditionally and what's happened traditionally in music. It's all changed. So can you educate us music listeners as to what you would say is indifferent through indie artists and what we call traditional now that you just get in your Walmart or something, because that seems to be the change in trend, and is growing and immensely, where people aren't doing the traditional, I'd say, music anymore is what we thought, and trying to get it out there. It's a lot of indie artists as well as streaming. Everything
Yes.
is streaming.
The indie artists that I have seen and that I know and that I've been introduced to via Helmet, and we indie artists, we really want to show and say our passion and our power, and it's a platform for everyone. I mean, Justin Bieber gets on there, and Justin Timberlake is on indie. So there's a mix on the indie charts of, the mainstream names, but we all want to get known bigger, because we all have our, everyone has their agenda, and my agenda is to I had cancer, so I awareness out for cancer, but that's kind of minimal. But I also have this giant ego where I think that I should be able to meet anyone I want, but it's this giant ego that says, well, you can go knock on Steve Lukather's door and you can write with him. But I think I really honestly have enough material and enough professional material that I've been proven a bit that I can collaborate with different folks. And that's really that's my agenda, is I want to collaborate with different existing musicians. I really, really do. And so I collaborate with Chago, so I can say, yay. I collaborate with Dorian, yay. And I collaborate with Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I have to say that's pretty darn good.
So, but this is where my confidence comes in. I'm not afraid to talk about what I want to do, what I want to be. But that's the same way with other indie artists, is they have the, huge passion for, their music, their guitars, their lyrics, their lives. They are just as pumped for their agendas as I am. And it's out. I mean, I'm in the top 40 radio stations now. And in Canada, where Burton Cummings is from, they went cuckoo for appreciation because they love their hometown boy.
Right.
They went nuts. So anyway, I think that indie artists are just as, creative and awesome and passionate as, anyone else. It's just we have a platform, and there's a platform in the United States, and there's a platform all over the world.
Right.
And thank God for both.
Where did DawgGoneDavis come from?
It's kind of embarrassing now when I think about it. I'm always thirsty. DawgGoneDavis literally came from my German friend who's down in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, who's another friend of my sister who's down there as well. And that's a military community, an army training area. And so Sabina is German, and we play Scrabble online all the time. And so Sabina and I are always fighting and playing Scrabble and saying, I'm winning. And she's going, no. Most of the time she wins. It's amazing. I don't know how she wins all the time. But one day, after I had put a song out or getting very close, I must have been getting very, very close to the first one. And I had, played the song for her, and she said, well, what's your name? And I said, I don't know, I like dogs. And then, and she goes, well, how about dog, DAWG? I'm like, yeah, that's all right. We'll have dog. And then somehow we just, silly girls, just going, dog this, dog that, DawgGoneDavis. And so now it's kind of embarrassing because it sounds a little funny to me, but it is really what the meaning of it is that when I would get into a scrape or trouble about being too boisterous, someone would say, that DawgGoneDavis, and I would be like, yeah, I'm DawgGoneDavis. So yeah, Sabina and I came up with that, and now we're mostly saying Rebecca DGD.
Right.
But either one and both, that was just two silly Scrabble players came up with that name.
So I read somewhere where it says, so I'm going to read this, and I want your thoughts on it. So according to research on highbot.com, the earnings of indie artists have surpassed those signed to major record labels. Independent labels music production in the United States is worth, $382 million, and that was in 2019. Indie artists represented about 33% of the top 100 streaming. So from 15% earlier that year. So I would say, what do you think sets indie apart from the music genre? Because I'm thinking, like, as you were saying, because artists, you cannot potentially get out traditionally, and you can say what you want to say, and be more creative is what I would assume. Yeah. Indie artists, and now that has become more influential. People are engaged more in it. So, because I find quite a few people that I follow on social media who are on the indie charts. And there's people who have, and actually, like you were saying, like Justin Bieber and other people are found on it. And I would have not thought so until I started finding these people. And I'm like, what is this? What is this popularity with people really moving towards?
The world is really, I want to say, open-minded, because, and that's a big point, that on the indie charts, come one, come all, bring your talent, Justin Timberlake, hey, come on, you're really good, and he knows he's good, and he's established, but it's an open platform for great talented people. I mean, I'm just a little piece of it, but there are so many people who are, tremendous piano players, and Helmut, who plays the flute and the sax, and he blows the daylight out of the saxophone in one of my songs, and I'll have to look it up. It's actually Clean Slate is about removing hate, and and so we can say what we want. We're not going to be out there cussing and slopping it up. I don't know about other people, but I just tell my story, and if I want to put a cuss word in it, it'll be very light or very changed. So I just think that there's a big wide world out there, and when I first started, the people who were picking up on me were in Asia, and still are Asia, and in Japan and South America, and all over the UK and Europe. The BBC, they pick up every song and run with it, and we love that. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice place to be, and I want to be all over the US. I mean, I want the USA to know the strife, the life, the coolness, the love, the bad, the sad, because the talent that I have around me is unreal. Romain Duchesne, the guitar player, oh my God, he's rock and roll, and that's what I like about indie, is that we can put whatever we want, and it's all good. It's all professional. All my cohorts and everybody else on indie is we're just fortunate that there are many people who love different work.
Yeah. I'm finding that with just through my research and having other guests on the show, is that it seems like other countries, like you were saying, and overseas, in Korea and Japan and Britain, Australia and Britain, that they really thrive for our music and jump on it more than even some of us here in the US. And it's just like they're looking for it. Mm-hmm. And I find so many artists, and even if you aren't in indie, are traditional artists that may not be there, but a lot of them are merging that direction because they really want our music and don't have this sound or this texture in music and these artists. And so you're getting a lot more artists coming out of that area because of what they're hearing here. Do you find that to be true?
Yes. A lot of people in Australia and New Zealand, for example, they love the song Appreciation. It's really, we get the data and we can see which radio stations are downloading it and which places are streaming it. And initially when Appreciation came out, Australia and Canada and the US just gobbled it up. They just, grabbed it and ran. So, down in the Aussie land, and Helmut's been in the Aussie land for prior, and they crave something different and something cool.
And it seems like, and I would I don't believe this will ever happen, but it's almost as if, obviously the music has changed, and good music, listening music, music that tells a story that you can understand, that you relate to, is what, listeners really, it'll never go away. Listeners really capture to it. That's why you find a lot of your originals. And I mean, you can go as far back as, Springsteen or Sinatra or The Temptation. You hear that music in everyday music, or people, you still know the words, even though you may not have heard the song for 20 years, but
Mhm.
it comes on and you still know the words. And so it almost seems as if we don't get with it here, then we're going to lose some of our artists because they're going someplace else. Because I love all music, but sometimes, but the new music, it's okay. It comes and goes. It's a trend. And we're losing the good music. We're losing the good artists, the good sound.
There are some amazing people, amazing talent on the indie charts, and who have been on there for a long time. And um, I loved Motown when I was a kid. Motown, was prior to me, but I would be in the driveway shooting baskets, listening to the oldies, and so all that influence of, gosh, uh, the wall of sound, the crystals, and the gals, all those songs that they put out, and it just, all that influenced me personally, and all my dad's classical piano playing influenced me. So there's one song I wanted to tell you about, how the older songs, like you said, Bruce Springsteen and etc. The song on this one is called "Baby, I Have Words," and it is about the like the artists who die too soon. The people, like, the day the music died, etc. That's it. That's what that song is about. And so, I like to reach back, way back, and pull info forward into my lyrics.
And I'm glad you said that, because when I was saying how you hear, we can hear a lot of music. I mean, I'm in my 50s, and so, and I love I'm very fortunate that I've had been exposed to all kinds of different music, from Patti Page's, to Tom Jones, Shirley Bassey, just a long list of different types of music. And but then today we're not getting it. So that's where the fear is, like, you're not like it's, everything's quick, and it's I don't know, you don't connect, you don't connect with it, just because it's kind of go, it's passing. And that's where it gets to where you think, wow, we're losing the art form, and we're losing the it's like it's here today and it's gone tomorrow. So the I'm a music enthusiast, so I stay connected to those who have a wide range of music. So I think the most successful artists seem to be the artists who have entertained a variety of types of music, that they can when they write their music or share their music, you can hear the variety, and it just isn't this, it's this music that's just in a box with the same type of sound. Because today it's the same type of sound. You can listen to some artists and you're not sure, because it sounds like the same type of person. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They all sound the same.
Yeah.
So to me, it's the ones who are exposed to a variety of music, and you can hear the variety within
Yeah.
the music.
I agree completely. The people you mentioned, and then also, for me, each song is completely different, because it is a completely different story that happened to me, and I will name check artists because I love them. For example, it's not that I'm trying to name check and get them to love me. That's not it. They are part of who I am because of how we grew up and what we grew up with. And one of my songs called Checkered Future,
Mhm.
I'll tell you that first two lines or so of it because it's really funny. It's about uh, just music. It starts out, so it's called Checkered Future, and it starts chubby checker, chubby thighs, rock and roll never dies. And so, when I'm talking about chubby checker, I'm literally, I knew him, knew about him, listened to him, love him. So when I say chubby checker, chubby thighs, that's who he was. He
Right.
was
Yeah.
awesome
Right.
and he was a bit chubby. And then it just coincided with, well, rock and roll never dies.
So I want to make sure that that everybody who's listening on the podcast can definitely find you and find your music. But I want to also make sure that you guys know that to watch the full interview, in case you miss anything, then you can go to the website entrepreneurlifeshow.com to see the full interview. You can also go to the YouTube channel, but it'll be there on the website, as well as how to connect with Rebecca. I'm going to say DGD, DawgGoneDavis, but as well as download it on the podcast. So in case you don't know where to find it on your podcast or you can scroll to the bottom of the page and you will see all the different podcasts we're featured on. But I want to make sure where they can find you.
Okay, they can find me on Facebook. It's actually Rebecca L. Davis on Facebook. So they'll definitely, that's good. But I really like to lead folks to the Bandcamp site because they can listen to every single song, all 21 of them, for free. And I mean, and so you can, and it's chronological. So it's newest to first.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see the progression actually of, well, this was her first song. And this is, oh my gosh, everything's changing. And now, so if you don't mind, I'll just kind of spell it out because then folks can just immediately know me. Okay, so it's www, and then DawgGoneDavis, DawgGone Davis.
Go ahead.
.bandcamp, all one word, .com. And
www.bandcamp.com.
www.DawgGoneDavis.bandcamp.com. And everyone, I don't mind putting that out because people get like 3 or 4 free listens of each song and then they would have to buy it. But it really gives everyone the whole complete picture of song 1 to upcoming song 22.
Well, that's really, so make sure you guys check it out. And if you miss the website, make sure you just go and reread it and listen to us on the full interview. I also want to make sure that for those who, I did have some people that didn't know how to, I got some messages, didn't know how to get some of the free CDs and the giveaways that I had from last week. I do have a few more left. So of course, as you know, we had on my last show, which is, we have here John Armato, The Drummer Loves Ballads. Wonderful, wonderful CD. And not because I had him on the show. Anyway, cool. But then he has a list of music here. So make sure if you guys want this CD giveaway, and that's John Armato, The Drummer Loves Ballads, has played with some amazing, amazing musicians. Check out the show. Go down and just entrepreneurlifeshow.com and make sure that you guys say, hey, I want that CD, John Armato. And we also have another CD for you, which is Chris St. John, Fly Away. Okay. If you guys go back and watch my interviews, you will even get to hear some of the music and how to connect with them. So I've got a free CD. Yep. Love it. And I like country. He's got a little bit of everything, rock and country. I like country. That's why I mentioned Springsteen. It kind of mixes me kind of the two. And then, of course, I have Julia Loggins. I had her on the show, too. So you could also go check out the show and see the full interview with Julia Loggins, Revolutionary Beauty. And she has a great, healthy line of products for you guys for your health and wellness journey. And so make sure you get her book. These are all free giveaways. I have some more back here, but I only have a few left. So make sure you visit the website, watch their full interview and get your free stuff. So, okay. So thank you again, Miss Rebecca. And I'm so happy that you're going to send me a CD because I like music, as you can see. Mm-hmm. And make sure you guys check out the full interview with Miss Rebecca and check out the website. If you have any questions, go to entrepreneurlifeshow.com and you can check out who I have on the show next week. So that you guys can see who my next interview is going to be. I'm excited about it, everybody. I guess that's it until next Thursday. Bye, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Entrepreneur Life Show.